This is the digital channel of the General Overseas Service of All India Radio. I'm Manoj Mainkar, and in the next half hour, I'll bring to you news updates from India and around the world, awareness videos on coronavirus by Government of India, yoga on radio, and a lot more. We'll begin with the news updates.
This is the General Overseas Service of All India Radio. The news read by Maria Albina Michael. An ambush near the renowned Virunga Park in eastern Congo has killed 12 rangers who helped guard some of the world's last remaining mountain gorillas in the wild, and another 5 people, authorities said on Friday. The attack, which left 5 other rangers in critical condition, took place near the park's headquarters in Rumangabu, located in Rutsuro territory, according to Joel Vengamule, a spokesman with the Congolese Institute for the Conservation of Nature. A driver and 4 civilians also died, he added. Daniel Maniragua, deputy administrator of the Rutsuro territory, condemned the attack and pointed the finger at the FDLR rebels. The French government announced a historic €7 billion aid package on Friday to rescue Air France, whose planes have been largely grounded by virus lockdowns around the world. Speaking on national television, TF1, Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire pledged €4 billion of loan guarantees and €3 billion of direct loans to save our national airline. In exchange for the bailout, Le Maire said the government would set conditions of profitability and more environmentally sustainable, less polluting policies. 1 in 6 American workers are now out of a job due to the coronavirus outbreak, according to new data released in the US on Thursday. This takes unemployment in the US to levels last seen during the Great Depression of the 1930s. In response to the deepening economic crisis, the House passed a nearly $500 billion spending package to help buckled businesses and hospitals. More than 4.4 million laid-off Americans applied for unemployment benefits last week, the U.S. government reported. In all, roughly 26 million people have now filed for unemployment aid in 5 weeks. Human trials of an eagerly awaited vaccine developed by the Oxford University against the novel coronavirus began in the UK on Thursday. Scientists have given the vaccine an 80% chance of success. The UK government has pledged £20 million to support the coronavirus vaccine trial programme, with UK Health Secretary Matt Hancock saying the government would throw everything at finding a vaccine against the deadly virus. The vaccine is made from a harmless chimpanzee virus that has been genetically engineered to carry part of the coronavirus to be tested on volunteers aged between 18 and 55 who are in good health. The coronavirus cases in Sri Lanka have crossed the 400 mark, with 40 new infections reporting on Friday, health officials said. A total of 414 cases have been reported, with 7 deaths since the outbreak began on 11th March. A new cluster was reported on Thursday, with a Sri Lankan Navy facility was found to have 30 Covid-19 cases. General Shavendra Silva, Army Chief who heads the National Prevention Programme, said that some sailors had contracted the virus while trying to send to quarantine a group of people in an area frequented by drug addicts. Altogether, 60 sailors from the Velisara facility have tested positive. 2 militants were killed in a brief encounter with security forces in Jammu and Kashmir's Kulgam district on Friday, hours after the duo abducted a constable, police said. The militants opened fire at a patrolling party of the army in the Frizal area of Kulgam in South Kashmir in the evening, they said. The forces retaliated and the 2 militants were killed, a police official said. Their identity and affiliation are being ascertained, he added. In another incident, 2 militants and a hardcore militant associate were killed in an encounter with security forces in Pulwama district of Jammu and Kashmir on Saturday, police said. Security forces launched a cordon and search operation in the Goripora area of Avantipora in the South Kashmir district in the early hours of Saturday after receiving specific information about the presence of some militants there, a police official said. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hailed the contribution of rural India to the fight against coronavirus in his address on the National Panchayati Raj Day on Friday. Interacting with Gram Panchayats across the nation, he said that the slogan of Do Gaj, De Ki Duri, given by rural India, showed the wisdom of the people. He appreciated the slogan, saying that it motivates people to practice social distancing. Prime Minister added that this crisis has shown the need for self-reliance. He said that every Gram Sabha, every block and every district needs to be self-reliant for its basic needs. The Prime Minister launched the e-Gram Swaraj portal and mobile app as a portal to prepare and plan Gram Panchayat development plans. He said that the portal will ensure real-time monitoring and accountability. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday extended greetings on the beginning of the holy month of Ramzan, saying, "May the people achieve a decisive victory in the ongoing battle against coronavirus and create a healthier planet." Clerics said the moon has been sighted and Ramzan fasting is to begin from Saturday. The Prime Minister said, "May the holy month bring with it abundance of kindness, harmony and compassion. May we achieve a decisive victory in the ongoing battle against Covid-19 and create a healthier planet," he wrote on Twitter. Ramzan Mubarak. I pray for everyone's safety, well-being and prosperity, Modi said. Naidu said this year's Ramzan comes at a time when the whole world is fighting a battle against the spread of coronavirus on several fronts. Even though traditionally Ramzan, like most of our festivals, is a time for social and spiritual gatherings, this year we may have to observe Ramzan and offer prayers at home with our family and avoid large gatherings, he said. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in his Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio on Sunday. It will be the 64th episode of the monthly radio program. It will be broadcast on the entire network of All India Radio and Doordarshan and also on All India Radio News website, newsonair.com and News on Air mobile app. It will also be streamed live on YouTube channels of All India Radio and Doordarshan News, PMO and Information and Broadcasting Ministry. AIR will broadcast the program in regional languages immediately after the Hindi broadcast. The regional language versions will also be repeated at 8 in the evening. And that is the end of this news bulletin.
If the current COVID-19 outbreak has got you feeling stressed out and anxious, then a calming yoga flow can definitely help. We care for your well-being and therefore, we bring for our listeners Yoga on Radio. Practice some easy asanas with Yogacharya Surakshit Goswami and keep yourself healthy and rejuvenated.
Dear listeners, today we will practice Dhanurasana. Dhanurasana consists of two words, Dhanu meaning bow and Asana indicates a yoga pose. Thus, the name is the bow pose because in the final position, the body resembles a bow. The asana strengthens the abdomen and other internal organs. As it improves the functioning of pancreas and intestines, the asana is beneficial for treating diabetes. The pancreas is fully energized by regular practice of Dhanurasana. It fully exercises the spine, making it stronger and more flexible. The asana is beneficial for the lungs, heart, kidney, liver, intestines, spleen, and stomach. This also helps stimulate the reproductive organs. It stretches the legs, thigh, thorax, hands, shoulders, and neck. This asana is a great stress buster. Precaution. This asana should not be practiced if you suffer from hernia, high blood pressure, knee pain, backache, neck pain, and migraine. Women should avoid this asana during pregnancy.
Lie flat on your stomach, keeping your feet hip width apart and your arms beside your body. Now, fold your knees and hold the ankles. Inhale deeply and expand your chest. Lift your chest and legs off the ground. Pull the legs upwards using your hands. Arch your trunk backwards and upwards, along with your head and neck. When fully stretched, your shape will resemble a bow. Your thighs will be raised above the ground, and you will be resting only on the abdomen and the lower part of the chest. As you get comfortable in the pose, breathe long and deep. Look straight and keep your face stress-free. Hold the posture for as long as you can. Breathe normally, then exhale and release the pose.
Hello, dear listeners. My name is Tane. There is a lot of information circulating about coronavirus disease 2019. So it's important to know what's true and what's not. In this program, we will discuss 4 important myths which are floating in the market related to coronavirus disease. Myth 1. Coronavirus cannot be transmitted in hot and humid areas. Well, this is not true. From the evidence so far, the new coronavirus can be transmitted in all areas, including areas with hot and humid weather. Regardless of climate, adopt protective measures if you live in or travel to an area reporting COVID-19. Myth 2. Vaccines against pneumonia protect us against the new coronavirus. Unfortunately, no. Vaccines against pneumonia, such as pneumococcal vaccine and Haemophilus influenza type B vaccine, do not provide protection against the new coronavirus. The virus is so new and different that it needs its own vaccine. Researchers are trying to develop a vaccine against 2019 novel coronavirus, and WHO is supporting their efforts. Although these vaccines are not effective, vaccination against respiratory illness is highly recommended to protect your health. Myth 3. The coronavirus can affect only the older people, and it has no effect on the younger people. Please understand that this notion is absolutely wrong. People of all ages can be infected by the new coronavirus. Older people and people with pre-existing medical conditions such as diabetes, heart disease, or asthma appear to be more vulnerable to becoming severely ill with the virus. It is advisable for people of all the ages to take steps to protect themselves from the virus. For example, by following a good hand hygiene and good respiratory hygiene as well. Myth 4. The antibiotics are effective in preventing and treating the new coronavirus. No, sir. Antibiotics do not work against the viruses. They work only against bacteria. Let's not forget that the new coronavirus is a virus and not a bacteria, and therefore antibiotics should not be used as a means of prevention or treatment. However, if you are hospitalized for 2019 and coronavirus, you may receive antibiotics since bacterial co-infection is possible.
India is at a critical stage in its fight against coronavirus as fears of community transmissions rise. During its lockdown, frontline workers are still going out every day to win what one doctor described as a war India can't afford to lose. In this section, we bring to you the best of advices from doctors all over India talking about various aspects of coronavirus. Here is one such doctor talking to you.
Namaskar. Greetings to one and all. I am Dr. Nitish Nadkarni.
And I am Dr. Radhika Ramesh.
I am Dr. Vinay Samant.
I am Dr. Akansha Singh.
I am Dr. Shweta Mishra.
I am Dr. Dimpi Shah.
We are MBBS graduates from the Grant Medical College and Sir JJ Group of Hospitals, Mumbai. As we all are aware of the COVID-19 pandemic around us, I am here to share a few basics about the disease and how we can manage it.
COVID-19, the novel coronavirus, can be transmitted from human to human through droplets in the air that come from an infected person coughing or sneezing. So how can we protect ourselves from being infected?
We need to maintain at least 1 meter distance from everyone around us. And why do I say everyone and not just someone showing symptoms? This is because COVID-19 virus shows symptoms way later, almost 14 days after infecting a person's body. This is what we call as the incubation period. So the person near you may appear healthy, he may be totally fine, but he may still carry the deadly virus.
We all need to practice strict hand hygiene. An average adult touches his or her hands on external surfaces 2000 to 3000 times daily. It is necessary that you wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Avoid touching your face and area around your nose, mouth, and eyes repeatedly.
Not everyone needs to wear masks. Elderly and those with underlying medical conditions can wear masks to protect them. Please do not buy masks unnecessarily in bulk. Our doctors who are fighting to protect us are falling short of it.
You have elders at home or members with underlying medical conditions like diabetes and hypertension. Take extra precautions for them. Make sure they are in a clean environment. It is absolutely preventable as long as we practice social distancing and strictly follow the instructions from the government and our doctors.
Do not self-medicate and start taking hydroxychloroquine. It is mainly meant for those who are constantly exposed to COVID-positive patients like our doctors and nurses. The medicine has its side effects.
Always reach out to your nearest doctor if you develop symptoms like cough, fever, or breathlessness. They will guide you.
With no available vaccine or treatment, social distancing is the only weapon we have against this disease. By following the lockdown, we somehow break the chain of infected that this virus thrives upon. So stay inside your homes, come out only when needed. That's the only bit you can do in this war against this devil. Help us so that we can help you.
It's our duty to protect our country and people's life by preventing further spread of novel coronavirus. Hence, we can contribute our bit by following basic hygiene measures and social distancing strictly.
Doctors across the country are working day and night to help us fight this virus as a nation, risking their own safety in the process. Let us show our faith and trust in them. Our cooperation is all they need in these times of crisis.
I request you all to please follow the official guidelines and be responsible citizens. Also, please refrain from spreading rumors. Check the source of your information.
Because we are in this together, and together we can fight this evil. Corona can only be defeated if all of us join forces. You count, your efforts count. Let us all pledge to make India healthy again.
During lockdown in India, many citizens are voluntarily participating in creating awareness and helping the less privileged.
Namaste. Greetings to all the listeners of General Overseas Services of All India Radio. I am Visheshwar Bhattacharya, former Dean, Indian Institute of Foreign Trade. I shall deal with a few socio-economic issues relating to Covid-19 situation in India. In brief, the first and so far the most important step the government has taken is to lock down the country for 40 days. The other steps include containment within hotspots and ramping up testing facilities as well as related health infrastructure. The country-wide lockdown has, according to the government, helped in reducing the spread of the disease. However, the government also realizes that a national lockdown cannot continue indefinitely, as the social and economic cost will be simply unsustainable. It is therefore in the process of preparing an exit plan starting tomorrow, but since the dynamic of the disease is unknown, any plan will have to be flexible. The plan, whatever it might be, it must recognize the fact that the poor and those at the margin of the society have been the worst sufferers. Most of them are employed on daily wage basis or self-employed such as electricians, plumbers, domestic maids, etc. They have hardly any saving to sustain them through a long lockdown period. Worse is the condition of the migrant laborers who neither have the job nor can reach their home. The middle income group of people fared much better as they are mostly employed in the organized sector, where no retrenchment has been done in March. For April, the norm so far has been to go for reduction in salary, which is better than being unemployed. But some farms may go for compulsory leave as well. But if the lockdown continues, retrenchment will surely occur. The small and medium enterprises have been the most affected and will also find it very difficult to come out of it. Most of the large industries, both for SMEs, including the SMEs, the major issue is there has been no increase in demand, and unless people have income and expectation of a somewhat stable future, they will hesitate to spend whatever they have. How bad is the impact? It is almost impossible to come to a precise estimate at this stage. However, one scholarly study has estimated that India stands to lose rupees 1.7 lakh crore per week of lockdown. What can government do to rejuvenate the economy? It has already announced a massive plan to help the industry. However, industry leaders, while welcoming the initiative, are asking for more. Indications are there that government is sympathetic. But the problem is there are various systemic and administrative lags which may delay the impact of such measures. RBI has already taken action to increase liquidity into the economy as well as to reduce the cost of credit. The problem is not of good intentions but of fiscal space. Even if government gives up fiscal discipline in such a crisis, there is a limit of monetary expansion because of fear of inflation. A lot of tightrope walking is involved. When can a turnaround be expected? Nobody knows when the curve of new patient will flatten. Assuming a best case scenario, it may happen by the end of May. This will allow the lockdown to be lifted with some restrictions in some areas. Then the industry will need some time to get into full throttle. All considered, the earliest time will be first quarter of 2022. Thank you.
This broadcast came to you from the digital channel of the General Overseas Service of All India Radio.